A 7-hour-long Russian spacewalk was cut short, but why? A spacesuit power problem is the reason why. Oleg Artemyev was ordered by Mission Control to go back as his spacesuit's battery fluctuated unexpectedly. So what exactly happened and when? What are the further details and what will happen next? We'll be answering all these questions. Keep watching this video to find out everything. First of all, what went wrong? An electrical problem with the spacesuit has led to a lot of chaos. On the 17th of August, a cosmonaut experienced this problem and the spacewalk was cut short. The Moscow Mission Control ordered Expedition 67 commander back to the airlock. He reported a voltage fluctuation in the battery power for his Orlan spacesuit. A former cosmonaut gave orders to drop everything and start going back right away. Plus, he asked Oleg to go back and connect to station power. According to NASA, there isn't clarity on what went wrong with the suit. Only a slight fluctuation was noticed, but it was serious enough to terminate the walk. So how did the astronaut feel before going on the spacewalk? Flight controllers asked Oleg before going into this how he felt. He said that he was energized as he had a great nap. He arrived safely at the airlock, which was plugged into the station's power supply. This happened while his teammate Dennis remained just outside the station's airlock for over an hour. But things took a scary turn. When we experience voltage fluctuations at home, we think, what the heck? Now, imagine something like this happening in space. This might be a life and death situation for the astronaut stuck in such conditions. A routine spacewalk almost proved to be deadly for the cosmonaut as his spacesuit suffered serious damage. Was Artemyev in danger? He wasn't in immediate danger, but if his spacesuit's power would have cut off completely, he would have lost the ability to communicate. He would have been disconnected from Dennis. This would have also led to him losing contact with the flight controllers on the ground. In such circumstances, he immediately should have plugged back into the power supply on the International Space Station. According to a spokesperson, Bob Navias, the astronaut was never in any danger. This anomaly occurred around the midpoint of this spacewalk. Plus, the astronauts were in the middle of their installation process. Well, whatever the truth, thankfully no one was seriously injured during all this. Let's see, what did Oleg say in such a dire situation? As he began his way back to the airlock on the space-facing side of the Poisk mini research module, he said, "I copy and understand." This is exactly where he and Matveyev began their spacewalk. He also mentioned that he thinks that they might need some solar panels on the Orlans so they can recharge during all this. Also, he said this after re-entering the airlock almost 2.5 hours into the planned 6.5-hour spacewalk. Now let's talk about Artemyev and Matveyev's journey and other responsibilities. Both of them had been sent outside the station to continue outfitting a European robotic arm that had been launched to the orbiting complex in July 2021. Before their outing was curtailed, they had successfully installed 2 cameras on the elbow areas of the ERA. Plus, they removed thermal insulation and a launch restraint from one of the 2 hands at the opposite ends of the arms. These hands are also called end effectors in more technical terms. They both had also been given the task to relocate an external control panel for the arm from one operating area to another. What more? They also had to test a mechanism on the arm that'll be used to facilitate payloads. These objectives and ideas will be postponed to a future spacewalk. So what will this European robotic arm do? Once it's configured, it'll be used to move payloads and equipment outside of the Russian segment of the space station. The ERA is going to be joining the Canadian-built Canadarm2 and the Japanese Kibo arm. They are already supporting maintenance, operations, and research on the outside of the orbiting complex. And this is how the spacewalk ended. Artemyev and Matveyev waited for the arm to be maneuvered to its configuration, and they went back inside the airlock. This marked an end to their excursion, and just like that, the spacewalk was completed after 4 hours and 1 minute. A fun fact is that this was the 7th spacewalk for the year. Plus, this was the 252nd one, supporting the assembly and upgrade of the International Space Station since 1998. If we talk about Oleg, this was the 7th EVA for him, and now he's logged 45 hours and 45 minutes working in the vacuum of space. And it's the 3rd one for Matveyev, who has spent 18 hours and 20 minutes on spacewalks in total. So has this ever happened before? This isn't the first reported incident on the International Space Station. Back in 2013, NASA aborted a spacewalk due to a water leak in an astronaut's helmet. The leak was so dangerous that Luca Parmitano couldn't hear or speak as the spacewalk came to a sudden end. Finally, he had to resort to help and ask his partner Christopher Cassidy to get back inside the ISS. The space station, which is a joint project involving 5 space agencies, has been in orbit since 1998, and it's continuously remained crewed since 2000. Plus, more than 3,000 research investigations have taken place in its microgravity lab. Just back in July, Russia said that it would withdraw from the space station in 2024. That's not all. The country has plans to build its own station. Many sources prove that since Russia invaded Ukraine on the 24th of February, this issue persists. Also, the country threatened to quit the project because of Western sanctions. Now, on to some other news. Firstly, the SpaceX Dragon cargo ship returns to Earth from the space station. On the 20th of August, August, a SpaceX Dragon cargo ship returned to Earth with an ocean splashdown. It contained a lot of science gear from the ISS. The space capsule was uncrewed, and it splashed down off the coast of Florida. And this was just after a month at the space station. SpaceX, in a mission update on Twitter, wrote that splashdown of Dragon confirmed, completing the 25th cargo resupply mission to the space station. Also, the company didn't provide any images of the spacecraft splashdown. The Dragon SpaceX 25 mission was launched on the 14th of July. The spacecraft arrived at the station 2 days later, and it delivered 5,800 pounds of science experiments plus crew supplies to the station. These cargo Dragon capsules are uncrewed versions of the company's Crew Dragon spacecraft. Also, they're designed to ferry supplies under a multi-billion-dollar contract with NASA. Next, NASA warns of a fearsome space rock coming toward Earth. Our planet just escaped from a massive asteroid that came very close, and NASA has now warned of another space rock that is set to come very close. A huge asteroid called Asteroid 2019 AV13 passed very close to Earth on the 20th of August, but thankfully it just passed close by and didn't cause any destruction. It was an insanely great rock at 420 feet, which could have caused a disaster. The skyscraper-sized asteroid came close at a distance of 5.28 million kilometers. We're lucky it didn't deviate from its fixed path. Well, the problem isn't over yet. Another giant asteroid is on its way to making a worryingly close approach to our planet. The Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which tracks these dangerous rocks and comets, has warned us that this monster might come very close to the planet. Asteroid 2015 QH3 is about 44 foot in diameter. Now we know that it's much smaller compared to the one Earth just escaped, but it's still seen as a terror. According to NASA, it'll come as close as 2.15 million kilometers from the planet with a speed of 7 kilometers per second. Finally, the Webb Space Telescope sheds light on galaxy evolution and black holes. The James Webb Telescope reveals never-seen details of the galaxy group Stephan's Quintet. The thing is that astronomers hardly see how interacting galaxies trigger star formation in each other. The image taken by the telescope shows outflows driven by a massive black hole in one of the group's galaxies. Adding to this, tight groups like this may have been more common in the early universe when superheated. It's all because infalling material may have fueled the energetic black holes. The James Webb Space Telescope actually reveals the stunning visual grouping of 5 galaxies, covering about 1/5 of the moon's diameter. This is the telescope's largest image up until now. It's constructed from almost 1,000 separate image files and contains over 150 million pixels. Sparkling clusters of young stars and starburst regions of fresh star birth grace the image. This provides scientists with a ringside seat for witnessing the interactions between galaxies that are crucial to evolution. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on battery power cutting short the Russian spacewalk? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.